Welcome to Made in Alpharetta, the only podcast dedicated to showcasing what makes Alpharetta so awesome. Today's show is brought to you by the Alpharetta Convention and Visitors Bureau. I'm your host, Kathleen Sturgeon. And before we jump into today's show, be sure to listen for the secret word during the episode to enter to win 2 tickets to the Act1 Community Theater's upcoming production of 6 Degrees of Separation. I think it's pretty cool, being from Alpharetta, that we have a local community theater scene, and that's why today I am joined in the studio by Melody Cookson, Managing Director of Act1 Community Theater. Welcome.
Hey, nice to be here.
This is exciting. I've heard about Act1, but I didn't know too much about it going into this, so I did a little research, so I got some questions for you, but it's a very cool concept.
Well, we're rare in that there's not that many local community theaters left, and so many of the theater groups go professional. But this is an opportunity for people of all walks of life who have either been involved in theater or have never stepped foot in a theater but want to learn.
Yeah, that's great. And so can you kind of back up a little bit and give me some background about Act1? So it was formed more than 20 years ago?
About 24 years ago, a lady by the name of Maura Thornett, who was clerk of session at Alpharetta Presbyterian Church and a theater aficionado, started a small group within the church. It did start with theologically based plays, dinner theater fundraisers for youth group and that sort of thing, but it caught on, and now we involve people from throughout the metro Atlanta area. And even though we are still housed within Alpharetta Presbyterian Church, we do cutting-edge main stage productions and musicals.
That's cool. And so do you know why she started it or why it was formed?
Basically, she was a very artistic lady and felt that the theater arts could support worship in the worship experience at Alpharetta Presbyterian. We also have a very vibrant visual arts program and also music program, including a handbell choir and various specialty choirs. So she wanted to bring the performing arts to basically round us out as a very arts-oriented church.
And so what's your favorite part? Are you more musically inclined or acting inclined?
I do musical theater. I really have been less on the acting side. I did in high school, and I've done a couple of dinner theaters for Act1, but I like being on the directing side. I like seeing what goes on in my head come out on the stage.
Yeah.
And especially I love Broadway musicals.
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I tell you, it's the hardest thing ever to direct, but I've directed 2 Lloyd Webber musicals, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and Jesus Christ Superstar.
That's what I was thinking.
Those are my favorite, and I have a hard time because Joseph was my baby. That was my first big directing.
Oh, yeah. So probably put a lot of pressure on you, pressure on yourself.
It did. I put a lot of pressure on myself, especially because after our founder, Maura, passed away from breast cancer, we kind of hit a doldrums, because when you've got this force of nature who has brought us, to being nominated for Metropolitan Atlanta Theater Awards, and all of a sudden that person is no longer the driving force, we hit kind of a stagnant period along with the downturn in the economy. And I fought for 2 years to get us to change our method of approaching theater and really make some capital investments and pay some heavy royalties for Joseph. And ironically, my son was cast as Joseph. So
that helped.
Yeah, so that was important on a lot of levels. And by the way, that was not nepotism. He was the best at the audition.
Yeah. And so since then, how have you guys grown? I know you were telling me before we started chatting about your partnership with the city of Alpharetta.
Yes, just last year with the upturn in the cultural arts in Alpharetta and the formation of Arts Alpharetta, which is an umbrella organization with all of the different types of visual and performing arts, the city approached us and wanted to have us number one, help them start some acting classes. They did not have the Arts Center open yet, and we were open to becoming a location for them to actually teach classes. Now, of course, they have their own Arts Center, but we still vet their instructors and make recommendations for whatever topics they want to do. And we also started a Shakespeare troupe, and we did 2 productions in Wills Park last year, and we have a full-scale production of Much Ado About Nothing going on in May 10th through 18th in Wills Park. And so we have developed a good reputation with the city, and they rely on us for any kind of performing arts resources that they need.
So how do you all benefit from that? I mean, obviously they help you, but that's a pretty cool partnership to have.
Oh, it is. Certainly, a lot of people, and I think partially because we are based out of a church, don't realize we're there because we don't have a freestanding building with big signage and all that. And so just getting the word out into the community. We also did some Brook Street Park productions for them last year, some little cabarets, a little bit of Shakespeare. And so that just exposes us to more people. And also, they have been very generous when Act1 had some trailers at Alpharetta Presbyterian that was costume and prop storage, which had to be removed for health reasons. And they have generously provided us some storage, and it also allows us to help the city with its reputation of hospitality by letting us act as a loan closet for other theaters in the group. So Alpharetta is kind of developing a reputation, as well as Act1, for really supporting the arts in a lot of different ways and throughout the whole city. Yeah.
And so kind of going into the whole APC, Alpharetta Presbyterian Church. I don't want to keep saying it. It's long. So going into APC. So since you guys are located in the church, are the shows mostly religious based, or how does that work?
No. We conduct ourselves just like every other local theater in the Atlanta area. We do what is going to appeal to audiences. Of course, we do have to be cognizant of content. I won't say that we're always G-rated, though. We have pushed the envelope some. 6 Degrees of Separation we're recommending only for high school and above because there are some controversial topics in there, and the church is very good at letting us flex our creativity a little bit, but at the same time, we respect the need to make sure that we are thought-provoking, but not too far over the edge. And so, no, we do main stage. Like I said, we've done the 2 Lloyd Webbers this last summer. We did Guys and Dolls. We're going to have some fun this year. Directing Schoolhouse Rock live. Ooh. So anybody who grew up with Schoolhouse Rock or wants to introduce it to their children, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So we really do the whole gamut of serious plays and fun musicals, and also some, like I said, thought-provoking pieces. We did The Boys Next Door, which deals with issues of abuse and special needs challenges, and the church actually dedicated that month that it was running at the theater to having a special Christian education series that dealt with topics like opioid addiction and abuse and depression and things like that. So every once in a while we really try to team up, but we are not what we consider a theologically based theater anymore. At the same time, we play an important role at Alpharetta Presbyterian to support worship by doing some special things in conjunction with the church. For instance, a couple of years ago for Easter, we actually staged the Da Vinci Last Supper at a service. Oh, wow. And for the Thanksgiving community service that involved a lot of churches around the Alpharetta area, we provided Abraham Lincoln to do the Thanksgiving proclamation. So they find creative ways to involve us and let us support APC.
So you guys seem to have a lot of partnerships, both with the church and the city. And what do you think it is about you all that makes other people want to help you out and be so invested with you?
Well, I think that that's one thing, that being based out of a church, we consider ourselves an outreach of the church. And it's basically bringing Alpharetta Presbyterian and our Christian values out to the community. And it's about fellowship and supporting each other as a cast. We form families with every production. We have little Facebook groups for every cast. And we develop a lot of friendships along the way. Taco Mac tends to see us every Thursday night after rehearsal. And so I think that we are seen and we feel that we have a mission to be a welcoming place and a safe place for people to come and learn and play together. So we're much more than just the productions that we put on.
Yeah. So we are going to take a brief break, and we will be right back after we hear a word from our sponsor. Planning a wedding, reunion, or corporate meeting in Alpharetta? The Alpharetta Convention and Visitor Bureau offers a variety of complimentary event planning resources to help you during your event or meeting planning process. Their expert team will help you find event venues and meeting space around the area, secure group hotel room nights at Alpharetta's 25 hotels, and provide you with free visitor information to share with your Alpharetta hotel guests. Visit awesomealpharetta.com to learn more. Welcome back to Made in Alpharetta. Today we are joined in the studio by Melody Cookson, the Managing Director of Act1 Community Theater. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
So, Melody, let's jump back into it. And can you tell me about the people who come and perform? Is it professional people, amateurs, people who just thought, today I'm going to try theater and this is their chance?
The simplest answer is yes. We really don't get that many professionals because we are non-equity. And so union rules apply and they have to get special exceptions. But we do get very high quality volunteer type semi-professionals who, especially if they're looking for a particular role or a particular production to put on their resume. So we do get some really amazing talent in. But we also get a lion's share of those of us who were very involved in theater in high school or college, and then we went away to raise families and just want to get back into it. And then we get people who just want to try it for the first time. So it can be a bit of a challenge from a director's perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Because you are dealing with all kinds of levels of talent, and you want to challenge all of them and at the same time try to come up with a cohesive product.
Oh, yeah. Do you enjoy that challenge?
I do. I really do, because I love the teaching aspect. And then it's that much more fun when you are handed a real bundle of talent. It's a challenge to me, being a non-professional, to see how I can make even someone who has a seasoned record even better.
Yeah. How they can achieve the next level. Yeah. And so is the group all volunteer?
Yes. No one makes a penny out of this.
Do you have tickets? Do you have ticket sales? Or how do you
we
keep the lights on?
Oh, we keep the lights on. Yeah, we are literally kind of a nonprofit. We don't have our own 501c3. We operate out of the church. But the biggest cost that people really don't think about with theater is royalties. And it can be several $1,000s depending on how popular a show is. And so that goes... The ticket sales, yes, we do have ticket sales and reserved seating and the whole thing, but predominantly that goes to royalties. And then we also have a very quality costume department, to the point that other theaters like to come borrow things from us. We take a lot of pride in having mostly homemade costuming. And then depending on the production, the sets can be very simple or they can be very complex.
Do you guys take field trips to other theaters to watch their shows, or how do you interact, I guess, with other local groups?
Well, very much we like to support each other's productions. There is a group of theaters that collectively fall under the Metropolitan Atlanta Theater Awards umbrella that, of course, we go and watch each other's shows and try to support each other. Our actors, it's just like a little merry-go-round. They'll go from one show to another, depending on what inspires them and what kind of parts that they want to have. So we do try to keep abreast of what everyone else is doing. I won't say we take mass field trips, but we have moles everywhere.
Maybe you can start taking field trips. And so why do you think people are attracted to Act 1, both the people who are performers and then the people come as guests? What do you think it is about you guys that people really just keep coming?
Well, we really try to push quality, and our ticket sales, our ticket price is relatively low. You just can't get entertainment that quality at that price by going to the Fox. I mean, that's an expensive field trip, and so we're right here in their backyard, and we're affordable. It's no different than, say, a night at the movies, and it's also, like I said, very family oriented, and we appreciate our regular attendees, and we recognize them, know them by name. We do have a donor sponsor program that we have just started, so people can actually help fund the arts in the area.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, we're family, and I think that we bring a very non-competitive and supportive environment to the actors and the musicians and the people who put on plays. So everybody just feels like they're there doing what they love, and money really doesn't matter in that case.
And it seems pretty apparent to me, but I want to get your thought about how Alpharetta supports the arts community. Do you think there's a strong appreciation of the arts here?
Oh, absolutely. Certainly just having volunteers come together to form Arts Alpharetta to emphasize the arts in this area. And Morgan Rogers came in and was very passionate. He was the one that requested the Shakespeare troupe. His daughter does Shakespeare, and by gosh, he wanted to see some Shakespeare here, so we have made that happen for him. And I think the fact that the city has added cultural services to the whole Department of Recreation and Parks demonstrates to the residents how important the arts are in this area.
Yeah. And so can you tell me about the next show, the 6 Degrees of Separation? So can you give me kind of a little synopsis, and when are the run dates?
Yes. This actually is based on a true story of a con man who portrayed himself as the son of Sidney Poitier in New York, and basically insinuates himself in wealthy people's lives and cons them out of money. And it's basically how the people are changed by having that experience. And 6 Degrees of Separation just insinuates how closely people are tied and how our lives kind of cross each other's paths and that sort of thing. It's a thoughtful play, and one of those that makes you think and really pushes the envelope. And we're looking forward to seeing how audiences react to that. But then we'll follow it up with a silly musical.
And when will 6 Degrees go on?
Yeah, that's going to be March 8th through the 14th. We have shows on, 24th. We have shows on Friday and Saturday nights at 8 and Sunday matinees at 2. And that's coming up sooner than we think. So
yeah,
get on the website, get your tickets now.
Yeah, before it sells out, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Melody, for joining me today. And where can people find out more information about Act1 Community Theater?
Yes, we have a website. It's act1theater.com. That's fairly simple. And there is a link to the ticketing site on the website.
Perfect.
We also have a very active Facebook group, so you can just come like our page and find out when auditions and productions are.
Great. Well, thank you. And before we go, the secret word to enter online is theater, THEATER. Thank you again to the Alpharetta Convention and Visitors Bureau. Don't forget to check them out at awesomealpharetta.com. Be sure to find Made in Alpharetta anywhere you listen to podcasts, including on iTunes. Follow Made in Alpharetta on Twitter at AlpharettaMade, and you can keep up with me on Facebook by searching Kathleen Sturgeon or on Twitter at KS Sturgeon. Thanks, Melody.
Thank you.